drivers are very pleasant and placid.
You get the odd one, but mostly they're okay.
Ignorant.
Shit.
The driver would put on a pair of dark glasses and carry a white stick, and his guard would then lead him out of the building and proceed to push him into the cab. He also used to carry a docker's hook, which now and again he would put out of the cab window and wave traffic past him with this docker's hook.
Bill for you, please.
65 pence, please.
Bus users nationwide will be familiar with sounds like these, but do they give any thought to the driver? He or she is responsible for over 90 lives, more weight on the shoulders than most careers demand. Driving a 10-ton bus through heavy traffic isn't easy. Bus drivers know they have a schedule to keep. Pressure to be on time from the passengers is compounded by the vigorous checks inspectors make on journeys. This all adds up to a stressful job. After long shifts at the wheel coping with daily abuse and irate car drivers, bus drivers should be seen by their passengers as heroes, and a bit more understanding from other road users would be appreciated. Few passengers give any thought to a bus driver's training and seem to forget they are highly skilled at their job. But what makes a person choose this job? Graham Gould has been driving for GM buses for 10 years.
I enjoy driving. I enjoy meeting the public. It's not a bad job. It's fairly dry, warm job. Before I came on this job, I used to be in the building trade, and it was a little bit cold in the winter. This job suits me fine. The training is fairly intensive. It can take up to 2 weeks to train a driver to test standard. It's not just a case of driving the vehicle. You have to operate the vehicle. You have to know how to, learn how to deal with the public. It's fairly intensive. They have to be professional drivers. At the end of the day, that's what they are. They're the only people, apart from HGV, who have to pass another test to drive the vehicle on the road. So they have to be professional drivers, and they should act professionally. So they have to be trained professionally. Well, we have a training area where we take them around the training area before we actually take them on the road, just to let them get a feel of the vehicle, get a feel of the size of it and the weight of it, how to operate the vehicle, turning, corners, left and right. We do have a ramp, a large ramp. We take them over the ramp. We have a skid pan, but we don't take them on the skid pan till actually after they've either towards the end of the course or till after they've passed the test. So we don't just take them over a set test route. We take them all over the place. So they have all different types of road, different types of traffic conditions. There might be a lot of pedestrians. We take them out into the country. We take them onto motorways. So they learn to drive the bus rather than learn to pass the test. I suppose like any job you could say that you're underpaid, but the pay, you do need overtime. Most drivers, I think that any company, do some overtime to supplement the pay. The basic pay isn't very good.
GM buses carry thousands of passengers a day. How much of a problem is vandalism and theft?
I've actually had my cash bag stolen, but there was no threat involved. At the time, I'd left a cash bag in the cab of the vehicle while I was checking for lost property, and somebody actually got on the bus and stole the cash bag out of the cab. Nobody's actually threatened me, but there are drivers who are threatened, and there are thefts, yeah. At the present time, I think GM is trying to introduce screens to segregate the driver a little bit. They're just doing an experimental one at the moment. Hopefully it'll be a success, and it will prevent a lot of it. But some drivers are threatened and some of them are robbed. It's costing them approximately, I think the last figure was something like around about £1 million to repair and make good damage caused by vandalism on the vehicles. It's quite often schools. When you're doing a route that picks up a lot of school children, that might be like 3:30 in the evening, the afternoon when they're coming home from school, you get a lot of school children on. And what they would do, they would target the bus onto that bus with the camera, or the buses we got with the cameras would go on those jobs, and the driver would use the camera to film the kids and see if they are causing any damage.
What are the main complaints bus drivers have against other road users and passengers?
Well, with passengers, mainly it's their attitude. Obviously, passengers complain about drivers' attitude. Quite often, it's the reverse. Passengers get on. there's no please, thank you. They generally quite often look at the driver as part of the machine, part of the vehicle, rather than a human being. It's quite right, drivers sometimes do that with passengers as well. But the main complaint about passengers is manners. Quite often they don't use manners. Motorists don't really appreciate what a bus driver has to put up with. The actual driving of the bus is just the tip of the iceberg. That's the part motorists and passengers see. They only see that bit. They only see the driver driving. There's a lot more to it than just driving the vehicle. And unfortunately, motorists who are not really professional drivers, don't act professionally, don't really appreciate the size of the vehicle you're driving. So because they've never done it, a lot of them, they just don't understand. And as a consequence, you can get in difficulties. You can have accidents, or you can get stressed out by their attitude.
What do regular GM buses users think of their drivers?
The drivers are very pleasant and placid.
You get the odd one, but mostly they're okay.
The drivers are ignorant.
Why?
Well, I mean, you could be 2 yards away from the bus stop running for the bus and they won't stop. But the private services will.
Shit.
In the early 70s, On the Buses was a popular TV comedy about bus crews. Reg Varney became a household name as people tuned into his antics. But how true to life were they? Ian Chapman, another driver for GM buses, recalls the good old days.
We used to have a changeover point at Old Trafford where crews used to change, go in, have the breakfast and come out again. And one of the favourite tricks of a particular guard and driver was that the driver would put on a pair of dark glasses and carry a white stick, and his guard would then lead him out of the building and proceed to push him into the cab, literally push him into the cab. And that obviously had quite an effect on the passengers. And he also used to carry a docker's hook, which now and again he would put out of the cab window and wave traffic past him with this docker's hook. That also used to cause quite a few complaints as well as laughs, I think.
Next time you're a passenger on a bus or stuck behind one in traffic, spare thought for the driver. He or she has enough to cope with doing their job.